So today we're going to be reacting to the mock draft for USA Today, and as usual with all these publications it's as if the draft stops after 12 picks. I've not seen a mock draft more than one round other than when Hunter Cruz does it on YouTube, and yeah, we're going to talk about ES or USA Today's and we're going to be reacting to it, so I'll be doing a mock draft myself between now and the draft, which is obviously a week from today, and to be fair I would not mind doing a collab with someone who's actually knows a single thing about these players, which is actually very few people in the YouTube space, to be honest. But anyway, yes, so number 1 pick obviously Paige Beckers. Oh my god, I just scrolled who number and saw who number 2 is. Paige Beckers. 2025 W draft isn't called the Paige Beckers sweepstakes for nothing. Beckers' generational talent with her shot making and playmaking abilities, what I'd expect to hear a name call for. She's going 1. We all know she's going 1. Scored 30 plus in 3 consecutive games. Yes, she's going 1. A player like the perfect guard to play beside. Is her rookie season going to be a lot of standing there and watching Enrique? Yes it is, but Paige is going to have an extremely efficient rookie season. I think she's gonna average, I'll give her 14, 3 assists and 4 rebounds. I'll give her 14, 3 and 4, and I'm going to give her 14, 3 and 4, and she's going to be an all-star. That's my prediction. Not all W players. She's going to be 14, 3 and 4 and make an all-star team, and they might just give her all defense just to give it to her. But this is crazy. Imagine wasting the 2nd pick on Sonia Citron. She Olivia Molly expect to go 2nd overall based on what they had a fight. The Storm part ways with July and they acquired a 2nd overall pick. They didn't have the best showing. Tournament won't affect Citron's draft stock, man. I'm sorry if you are. Giving the 3rd B if you are picking the 3rd best player on a college team who lost in the Sweet 16 2nd in the draft. You are crazy. If the Seattle Storm do this, I'm going to be doing my live stream reactions. I'm just going to start laughing if the Seattle Storm waste their number 2 pick on Lexi Hull 2.0. Like, what are we doing? She can't guard fast guards. She's a good defender. She's a disciplined defender more than she is like a super good defender. And in fairness to Citron, like, she can shoot a little bit, very streaky when it comes to shooting. She was shooting 20% for a while from 3, and yeah, I don't even with the way this draft is, I don't hate Citron taking her in that Mystics 3 pick range, but she is going to be in the league for 10 years. She may or may not start. She might be coming off the bench for 10 years. She is a connective piece. If you waste the number 2 pick on a connective piece when you have potent player with GOAT potential on the board, it does not even matter. It does not even matter if it turns out that Malonga is a bust. Hindsight's always 2020. You do not pass on a player with literal GOAT potential for Sonia Citron, and I don't even think Citron's a bad player in this year's draft. There's Paige Beckers is a sure thing right away. There is Malonga who has almost GOAT potential, and the rest of the draft, I don't think a single player outside of Paige Beckers starts next year, especially game 1. There might be a player somewhere that just ends up being way better than expected game 1. I don't think there's a single player that starts in this draft class outside of Paige Beckers, and if you are taking a bench player, a potential career bench player in all of these players over Malonga, you deserve to lose your job. Malonga French takeover doesn't just apply to the NBA. Dominique Malonga will follow in the footsteps of fellow countryman and be drafted a pro. 66 centers, is the ultimate athlete, can do it all. Speed length, she's averaging 15-10 1.2 blocks, 53% for Francis as Leon. As did we mention, she's only 19, she turns 20 in November. They have been quiet in free agency, but new general manager Jamila Widman and head coach Sydney Johnson will take a step toward building her future. Malonga, if Malonga is there at 3 going 3, do you want to know why Malonga is going 3? The Mystics literally brought her in for a workout. And I think a big reason why they traded the pick with Chicago is so they can get Malonga. What I could potentially see happening, by the way, is I could see the Mystics trading up with the Seattle Storm and the Seattle Storm getting Sonia Citron, and maybe the Mystics taking some salary back, and then I'm trying to think of who the Mystics might be able to get if they really want Milan. Might have to give up maybe a Carly Samuelson type player. Like the Storm aren't going to get Jay Melbourne back. They're not. I don't think the Mystics are going to give up Secret Cone. You'll probably have to maybe get like a Carly Samuelson, and Carly Samuelson comes right in and starts with the Seattle Storm. If that salary works, I can actually really see like the Mystics, I think, are coming out with Malonga. The Mystics, if they're smart, they're doing whatever they can to come out with Malonga because they're a team that's rebuilding and they're going to play her right away, but they do need to sort something out if they want her. She's not going past 2. She's not going past 2 at all. But Anna, I actually like Anisam Maro of 4. I actually like Anisa Maro for. You can't teach that motor. You cannot teach the motor that Anisa Maro has. She's so much better than Kiki Fan of 5. And like Kiki Fan is literally like, I'm watching her play and I'm like, you should be good. Have you guys ever watched someone play basketball and you're like, you should be so much you have? It's like, oh my god, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you should be so good. That is almost a Kiki Fan. How I feel about Kiki Fan. And the annoying thing about Kiki is, again, she still does not have a 3 ball. Some like it is not. First of all, it's hard to develop a 3 ball when you can't shoot, when you've got good mechanics, when you're a good mid-range shooter, when you can shoot a turnaround mid-range shot. It's not hard to develop a 3 ball in that scenario. So yeah, that is, and I stand by that. Kikir. Fan look, you still take her a 5 for your Valkyries. Kiki fan will start for you. Will she over Timmy and Monique Billings? You're going to suck anyways. You're going to start Kiki, but like she's just not like any big game. Kiki fan is just, she's just fine when she's hitting the mid-range shot. She looks good when she's not hitting the mid-range shot. She's like poor. She's poor man's. She's a poor man's Angel Reese. She's a worse rebounder than Angel Reese. She's as bad a finisher around the basket as Angel Reese. She's literally worse Angel Reese, but she can dunk, so people are hype. Cheyenne Sellers is at 6. I would be very much, I would take Jew. If I was the Mystics I would take Jet just because she's the same height, higher potential, can run the one but I do like Cheyenne Saders. I think her defense is good. I think she is a passable shooter. I don't think the shooting is going to translate. I think she's going to be a mediocre shooter in the W, but she's big. She's a big guard. She's especially if that's what they're looking at, then they've got a big guard combo of her and Jade Melbourne running the one. I would assume Jade Melbourne probably gonna come in and start at the one next year because they are rebuilding with Cheyenne Sayers coming off the bench, or maybe they find a way to move Brittany Sykes and have Cheyenne Sayers and Jade Melbourne kind of playing this combo, young combo guard. Both of them kind of play the 1-2. Share the ball, bring the ball up, ball handling duties that could be really interesting, but Cheyenne Sellers, jack of all trades. I actually don't mind her at 7. I don't mind Aisha Sivka, like she's a 6 feet 4 inches shooter who has length and is a passable enough defender that you're hoping that that she becomes a good defender. I don't hate Siva for Connecticut Sun again. If I was going for an overseas player I still would go Jack there, but I would assume then they've mocked Amore, probably going to the Sun because the Sun do need a point guard. So yeah, if you're going to take a Siva, if you're going to take a player that I think is of all these players, Siva is most likely going to be a mustache player. I think Jasite comes over, and I think Malona comes over, and I'm 99% sure Malonga's coming over. I don't know about Jazz. I would assume she's coming over if she pushed to get into this year's draft. And then Araka, I'm not sure. I haven't seen much, haven't heard much about her. I've just kind of watched her play a little bit. High potential. She might be 2 years away from being 2 years away, but I don't mind it. There are not many 6-4 shooters, and the fact that she projects to be like a Katie Lou Samuels in day one, if she progresses and becomes a better defender, she's more athletic than Katie Lou. She could be a legit player, and heck, at the 7th pick, if you can just get someone who will be a starter in the WNBA, you're happy. The number 8 pick, yeah, it's Georgia Amore. So Georgia Amore to the Sun back on the board. I actually don't mind this for the Sun. The problem is Georgia Amore is not young either, and she's 24. She's almost Sedona Prince age. So again, she can cook. She's a hooper. She is an absolute hooper. Got to handle. I just don't like the 56-point guards. That's just my opinion. To be a 56-point guard for me, you got to be like a Jordan Canada, where you are that good perimeter defensively. Haley Vanleth in the first round to the Sparks. I don't like this one. I don't like this pick at all. Why would you pick worse Kelsey Plum? When you need defense, who's going to play defense? You can't just bank that Cameron Brink's going to bail you out, especially in a year off an ACL tear. This team doesn't play defense. Kelsey Plum can be a pest and guard someone full court. You can't lock someone up. Their current point guard is Kelsey Plum, their current shooting guard. Who the Sparks even have I blanked on the Sparks shooting guard. Who the Sparks have, because they've got obviously Rakia Jackson playing the 3 dongi, and Cam Brink. Is Ray Burrell going to start this year for this team, and are they going to go tall? I don't think Ray Barrels an awkward defender, more so Gez Lockdown, or is Odyssey Sims going to start at the 1? Either way, I don't see Ari McDonald still there. Julia Lamon's back. There's no way Vanleth plays, and if you're and they as a Razorback and big, there's no way Vanleth plays, gets any burn. There's no way Vanleth might make the roster for this specific team. You need defense. Takes Rivers. This team has got next to nothing on defense. You take the best defender in the draft of Cy Rivers. You've got size, you've got fours, you've got hybrid players, you've got lengthy wings and Rakia Jackson and Dre Burrell. You do not need a 57-point guard when Kelsey Plum's a 572 guard, and you've got Odyssey Sims. You do not need Haley Vaneth because you're not trying to lose, because you don't have your pick. Dana Pow to the sky. Bit of a boring pick there, isn't it? Dina Peppa just getting a shooter. She's not gonna start. She's not. The problem is that Mariah Jefferson's there, and I don't know how many minutes there's going to be for Pow in that Sky team. The Sky starting lineup is probably going to be, you're going to start Angel the 4, Camila at the 5, probably Onion at the 3, even though I think at this point in time Beck Allen's better, but I still think they go with O'Near just to start the season, and then obviously Atkins and Slew. Mariah Jefferson is a vet point guard. If they wanted. I don't even know what they need, cuz he got back on the 3 off the bench. You lost Izzy Harrison. They signed a few players, they signed a few shooters, if I'm not mistaken, and obviously fit matters in these scenarios, but I don't know if Tahina Pau might not make the roster. You can't forget Tina Pa is a 5th-year senior. She did not look great in a lot of things obviously. They have Elizabeth Williams, who's a big off the bench, then Kia Nurse probably coming off the bench too, who's better than Pow at Pow's position. Rachel Banham is better than Pow at Pow's position. If you want to say Banham's not better, look at what Banham did in college. She's just not going to make the roster, and if she does make the roster, I just don't know if she's going to play. I don't know if she's going to get any burns. So if I'm the Chicago Sky, I look for who the Lynx are drafting here. I look for a big guard, because you've got your backup 5, you've got your backup, you've got your backup 5, and you can just run the 3 big rotation. Find if a team gets rid of a power forward, bring in a power forward. They've got a few stretch bigs half decent stretch bigs they can kind of bring in and play something, but they're just going to have a 3-3 player rotation at the bigs, and they got that, and they've also got 2 56-point guards, and unless you want to play Ariel Atkins the one, and I saw her doing that a little bit at Washington, I didn't like how Washington looked with Ariel Atkins the one, so you go for a